Support for Radio Friends comes from La Brunerie Financial, where they work to ensure a lifetime of financial security for people from all walks of life, from investment services to retirement plans. If you're looking for a trustworthy company that has the experience and knowledge to put your interests first, contact La Brunerie Financial, a community-based investment counseling firm since 1966. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Monday, July 17th. Good to have you with us today. Kristin Bowen is here. Katie Terry had a doctor's appointment.
She's busy today.
So you're flying solo, but you have a broken wrist there.
So we'll be flying lopsided, but that's okay.
I understand, but the wrist is healing fine.
Healing well. We're all doing well.
You got what is that, the second or third cast now?
Third cast is the charm, I hope. Yeah.
I know. I went through the same thing with a broken wrist years ago.
That's okay.
But Kristin Bowen, Moms Demand Action. We've talked about gun violence and the need for safety and education with guns. Again, with Moms Demand Action, they are not trying to take guns away from people. They're trying to educate how to keep kids and all of us safe.
Exactly. There's so much more we could be doing, Paul. So that's why we always want to come and talk to listeners about what we could be doing to keep ourselves and our communities safer. One of the number one things that we can do is to stay informed. So I wanted, while we were together today, to chat a little bit about the ways that gun laws really have been proven to save lives. Unfortunately, here in Missouri, we have some of the weakest gun laws in the nation. And so we have seen the result of that in skyrocketing rates of gun homicide and gun suicide.
Now, I'm looking at some statistics here.
Exactly.
These numbers, are these for Missouri alone or for the country?
Only Missouri.
Okay.
So my organization is part of a larger organization called Everytown for Gun Safety. We are fiercely committed to only presenting evidence-based solutions. And so this is part of that conversation. We're sharing data specific to Missouri.
In an average year, 1,351 people die. 2,312 people are wounded by guns.
That's right.
In Missouri. Now, this is not nation. This is just Missouri.
That's
so
right.
if you take in the whole country, you're talking a lot more people.
Right. I mean, we often say, tragically in this country, 120 people on average die every single day from gun violence, and several hundred more are wounded. So that's the grim number that we deal with as a nation. Here in Missouri, we can drill down and look at what the gun death rate is, both by gun homicide and by gun suicide. And that's what we're looking at. And, unfortunately, it puts us in company we don't want to be in. Missouri now has the 7th highest rate of gun death in the nation. We hover around 5, 6, 7 over the past many years. And there's evidence that shows the reason we're in this predicament. Our gun laws have been weakened over time, just really over the past decade or so, by stripping away laws that we know keep people safe in other states in this country. We don't have those benefits, and so we see the sad result.
So what are some of the things that Moms Demand Action would like to see? So while this data that we're sharing today is truly alarming, I recognize that there are things that we can be doing as volunteers, as voters, as citizens to end and reduce gun violence in all of its forms. Number one thing that I would recommend to listeners is to stay informed. And one of the ways to do that, you can do that here in Missouri and in mid-Missouri by joining Moms Demand Action. We are a nonpartisan organization. We have moms in our name, but we're not just moms. Anyone's welcome to join. It's now we're almost up to 10 million supporters nationwide. We're the largest organization working to prevent gun violence in this country. And there's so much work to be done. So the easiest way to follow along and get involved is to text the word READY to 64433. That's our texting number, or you can find us on the web and find out about the next
available volunteer opportunity, or come to one of our monthly virtual meetings. You don't even have to leave home. You can join us on Zoom, and learn about the sort of parameters of gun violence in our state.
One thing that I'm looking here, gun deaths in Missouri, 53% of gun deaths are suicides.
Tragically, yes.
Suicides,
yes.
53%.
Unfortunately,
43%, 44% are homicides. I would imagine, and it's just tragic.
It's tragic.
I would imagine this could be brought down if guns were kept secured and not just laying around.
Exactly.
But locked up in a safe place.
Exactly. We know that it can make a difference. And suicide is a tricky topic for a lot of folks.
Oh.
People tend to feel pessimistic about our ability to make change. But the reality is the numbers are there. And we know that if you remove this lethal means for committing suicide, that we can save lives. Because, when someone attempts suicide with a firearm, it's almost certain that they will succeed, and they can't live to deal with their challenges and face another day.
Exactly, because they're so depressed.
Yes.
So depressed, and they feel that there is no solution. Mm-hmm. There is no bright light on the horizon. And if a gun is readily available, they have access to that gun. Once they pull the trigger, it's over. It's too late. But if these guns are kept locked up, you may be able to save some people.
And we know when we have young people in our homes, young people sometimes act on these impulses, and it's not something necessarily that's been a long road that was visible. It can be impulsive. So one of the things that we know we can do, we talk about when we come to see you, Paul, a lot about keeping guns away from our younger kids, because kids are curious. They may be told and trained not to pick up a firearm in the home, but they're curious and they want to try. With our older kids, the challenge can be that, the risk of self-harm. And so when you have older children, when you have teens in the home, and they or their friends or your extended family know where that firearm is and that it's loaded, you're really putting those kids at an increased risk.
Yes, and you should not have the gun loaded in the house.
It should be locked.
It should not be loaded in the house.
Exactly, right. Exactly.
And put away and secured. This really is it's an emotional subject. I know someone, it was a neighbor of ours who did commit suicide by self-inflicted gunshot wound. And it was a total shock to everyone that knew this person. And again, you realize when somebody is so depressed, you don't want to have a weapon easy access.
Right. And there are challenging conversations to be had in that case. I have to say, Paul, I'm really sorry that has happened to you and your community, but we know so many people who've had that experience.
We're out of time. Moms Demand Action. Yes. For more information, find it on the web. Kristin, thank you for coming by today.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay.